You've tuned into Tomcat Tales, the story of Ashland's legends from the gridiron, the court, the diamond, and beyond. It's a deep dive into Ashland Tomcat sports history. Now, here's your host, Mark Maynard.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tomcat Tales. I'm your host, Mark Maynard, and this podcast will take an insider's look at Ashland Tomcat sports history. We're going to talk to some of the great personalities who built the Tomcat tradition in every sport. And today we continue on episode 3. We continue with Herb Conley, the outstanding football coach for the Tomcats for 9 seasons, from 1968 to 1976. Herb, we're looking at the 1970 season, and I know it's going to be a lot more fun after this one.
That's right. And another thing, I'll tell you one thing, Mark, it kept me really going is because I could look down there at them sophomores. On offense, before the year was out, I was starting about 9 or sometimes 10 sophomores both ways. I mean,
wow.
On offense or defense. I had about, I guess, about 17 that played. I'm not sure when I put them all in.
You have a little bit of a dilemma here, though, I think, in that you're coming off a losing season. Ashland doesn't want losing seasons. You have to. I know you had to feel like we got to win. We got to win some games. Going into the season, or I'm not going to survive.
Well, I didn't think about that much. I wanted to hurry up and get that wishbone in and see what was going on. That's what I wanted to be able to do, but I didn't do it. Didn't do it until the last game of this year. And so we stayed the same offense.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I got to see how they could block, how they would tackle, and they was all young. And so I said, I probably might do this and might not. I was also confused myself of what I really wanted to do at that time. Whether run that the wishbone, and I wish if I'd had it back, if anybody said he's really stupid, he sure blew that right there. He should have went that wishbone, what he was thinking about, and not worried about.
So we talked even about the '69 team. You said they would have probably been a better wishbone team because you did have some quarterbacks who could run. You just didn't have anybody that could throw.
Dave Hageman, good ball handler,
yeah.
And he was tough and he was smart,
right.
And so he'd know when to read, how to pitch a ball.
Yeah. And
there's a lot of things he could have done.
Yeah.
And I just never did it until as the season went on. You can see we were 3-7.
Yeah.
As we talk here a little bit, you'll find out more. But all that lot of time, a bunch of these sophomores were playing, getting all experience.
Yeah, I'm looking at this roster here, and I'm seeing a lot of 10s.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of 10s, and they're guys names that I know ended up being really great players. Mike Wheeler, Roger Webb, Randy Elkins,
sophomores.
All these guys are sophomores. Jerry Bentley, my goodness,
Steve
Lehman, Steve Justice,
Dave Johnson.
All these guys are
Randy Elkins.
Yeah, they're all the guys that we know. Rob Queen.
Yeah.
All these guys are the guys we know later become big-time names and stars for the Tomcats.
Yeah.
And this is them as youngsters.
Yeah.
But you knew.
A few juniors were sprinkled in there, like Bob Queen was a junior.
Yeah.
Steve Canute. He's one of the top 3 or 4 players that ever played here.
Yeah.
I mean, he was
great player.
Competitor. He run about a 9. At that time, he ran about 9,800.
Randy Rice, another sophomore.
We had him all over the place.
Kevin Shellcroft to knock your head off.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Shellcroft. But, I'll tell you a story about him. He come to me, and one day in practice, he said, "Coach," and he's crying. He said, "Coach," he said, I think I can play. He said, "I play defense all the time, and I make these tackles all the time." He said, "You never say anything about it." And I thought, well, evidently I don't. And so I said, "I'll be watching you, Shellcroft." I said, "I'll see what you do. I want you to get over here on defense." He killed us. I mean, he killed us. But Bill Tomlin told me, he said, "Shellcroft is a player." He said, "You better start looking at him."
But he was so little, you just kind of thought,
yeah. Well, he was about 5'3", maybe 5'2".
Yeah, he was just a little guy. Yeah.
And he wasn't very heavy.
Right.
But he was telling us that. I said, "Kevin, you come over here. We're going to go defense now. You come over here and you're going to play with the first team." From that time on,
he's there. Yeah. Yeah, he was a good one.
He was a good one.
Pierre Harshaw was a sophomore. I mean, my goodness, you look back at that sophomore group, and I can see why you were excited because you were seeing those kids at Coles and Putnam as ninth graders, and you're seeing probably two pretty good Coles and Putnam's teams.
Oh yeah,
they're both both of them good.
Both teams were very good. A lot of talent.
Yeah, a lot of kids. You're like
speed. They run.
Look what we got coming.
Yeah, exactly.
So. You play a Knox Central in the opener, and you wear them out 36-6. And a sophomore named Pierre Harshaw, as we just mentioned, he has 121 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns in that game.
He ran the ball 18 times.
He scored 18 points. I think that's what that is. He scored 3 TDs in that game. Interesting, Herb, and I mentioned this to you before we kind of took the air. Your teams never lost an opener. You were 9-0 in season openers, and you were 6-3 in second games. So you were 15-3 over the first 2 games of the year throughout your career. Is there anything to that? Why that would be? And I mentioned to you, you always ran a tough summer camp. I mean, I think they were glad just to get back to.
We were always in condition.
Yeah, you were ready to get back just to play and not have camp.
Yeah, this group right here, this group right here went through anything I ever gave them, made them work hard.
Yeah.
They had no complaints. They went through it. Sometimes Steve Jessers was just a sophomore this year. He'd come after practice still and said we didn't run enough. And I got thinking, hey.
If he's saying that.
If he's saying that, he's just a sophomore. I said, sophomore just told us we're not running enough. I don't think they liked Steve too much there for a while, but they started running. And that's where I started. I asked them every now and then, I said, how many guys 40s you want to tell us? And if they didn't say over 40 or around there, I'd run more. I'd run them more.
It wasn't enough. Yeah. So conditioning was a big part of your, of your programs. I know Herb back then. It was different than it is now. I mean, I just say it like it is. Water was a reward a lot of times. For working hard.
Oh, now
you
back
can't.
That time I didn't give water.
No, that's what I mean. You
never got water.
Yeah, salt pills were a big thing.
Well, that was after practice. 1971 is when we started drinking water. I was the first coach that ever had water on the field. And one time I was out cutting grass at home, and I was out there and I yelled at Janice inside. I said, "Give me some water. I need some water." She brought down. I said, "What's the matter?" I said, "I'm thirsty. I'm cutting grass." She looked at me and said, "I want to ask you a question. When you coach them boys and getting on them about not running stuff, they're thirsty too." And I said, "Yeah, they are." She said, "That's why you need to start giving them water."
Is that right?
Exactly.
That's funny.
Exactly, buddy.
Because I know how you were with that stuff. You were tough on them. Their conditioning and stuff. And water was, it's just the way it was. Water was kind of a sign of weakness is what people thought.
Yeah.
It's obviously it's something you have to have.
Well, they said it made you cramp and all this and that and all that. But
right.
I never made them. I let them, what we did, we let them drink all the water they wanted.
Yeah.
And if we were there 10 minutes or 15 minutes took to do it, I didn't make them rush.
Make sure they're hydrated.
Make sure they're hydrated. But that 10 or 15 minutes was my time. We started the clock back when we started and went on with practice.
So you stopped the clock for the water break, whatever it was, and then restart it.
Start our schedule.
You're going to get all your time.
We might be there 4 hours in a 2-hour schedule.
Yeah.
It might end up 4, But they didn't care.
So you went at summer camp you had practices here some, but you also took them away. Usually, you
always went to camp.
Yeah, you went to a fall camp.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. The reasoning for that and how it benefited the team.
Well, I tell you what, I got it from was Jake. When Jake come here, he's the one that started it 2-a-days, and he wanted to know where we go. We went to Camp Olio up in West Virginia.
Yeah, Barbersville.
And we were there 2 years, and then when I took the job, they shut it down. No, we went there 1 year, and the players didn't like it. They the ones I had didn't like it. Stayed in tents, hot at night, hot of the day, and you eat all you want to. They serve good, and we had a couple of practice fields that weren't real good. And but anyway, they shut it down. The first year I was head coach, so I took them to a Camp Yo-Yo or something like that. It was awful. We went down and took 2 bus loads.
Where was that in?
I think it was Portsmouth.
Okay.
And we took 2 buses, and they were full. When we went down, I think I'd say probably 60 kids. Coming back, we had 1 bus. They left the second night we were there. There was about 24 left. Came home.
Wow.
And then I think we come home about 19.
Wow.
And I thought, boy, that might not be good.
Might chased a few too many off here.
Yeah.
So this 1970 team, very young team. You
Well,
played
the juniors that was on that team were real leaders.
Yeah.
They were the ones that really started that. Of course, the sophomores were tough.
And of course, that's Richard Gardner and Canute were juniors on that team. Guys
Bob Queen.
Guys that were
Richard Hinkle,
Eddie Spann, Danny Mulvaney was a junior on that team. So you have you have an interesting team here. So you're 1-0 again. Hey, we're used to that first win. We get them every year with her. We're won that game. Now you're going against Middlesbrough, and it's another home game. This time Middlesbrough is ready, a little better probably, and they shut you out 20-0. And tough loss, tough second game. Middlesbrough, good program, and I don't know how good Knox Central was. They probably weren't great, that year. So now you lose them 20-0. That's tough, a shutout especially. But young guys, that's going to happen, isn't it?
Exactly.
And you're playing a lot of sophomores. So the next week you're playing Belfry. Our old friend Belfry, who they sure wore out the Tomcats this past season in the playoffs. You're going to Belfry, and let's talk about that. It's not that beautiful AstroTurf field they have now, was it?
No. It wasn't a bad field, but it was no AstroTurf.
Yeah.
And the dressing rooms and stuff were
tough place.
Yeah, tough place to play.
Yeah.
Al Vipperman.
Yeah.
Good coach.
And they ended up naming that field after him.
Yeah.
Vipperman Stadium.
Yeah, he'd won that district up there for years.
Yeah, he was a good coach. And you guys hadn't played them since '67, and the '67 team just beat the tar out of them in state semifinals. And I remember, I don't know if Vipperman was the coach then or somebody else, but the coach said, they're brutes. He said, I don't know how anybody's going to beat them. They're brutes.
I'm not sure when.
I don't think he was the coach. I think somebody else was.
I'm not sure when he quit.
But Al Vipperman, he did a great job down there for years and years. In this game, Steve Hagerman rushed for 110 yards, and David Cooksey was, I guess, your starting quarterback at that point, at least at that point in the season. Threw for 97, so that's a pretty good game. David was a decent athlete. Yeah.
He just he was slow at foot, and his delivery was so slow.
Yeah, so that's a tough one for sure. So now you're setting, but you beat Belfry 46-6, so you took care of them. So 2 out of the 3 games you've put up the points. You guys are looking pretty good. 2-1 record, and Huntington East is coming in, and Bob Sang is the coach, and he's coming back to Putnam Stadium, where he coached in the maybe did he coach you?
He coached me
at least for a year, right?
Sophomore year.
Yeah,
he left after it.
Yeah, and of course, Bob coached for 50 years. Just one of the best people ever.
Great coach. Great coach.
And man, he was innovative, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
He was way ahead of his game.
Exactly.
On offense. I mean, he was throwing the ball before anybody ever thought about it.
Yeah. He had that going. Yeah, he was very knowledgeable about the game. He make you work. That's where I got a lot of my working ethics when I got there, because I knew if I didn't work or get after it, he'd be getting after me. And I'd rather get after somebody else than him after me.
Yeah, he was tough, wasn't
he? Yeah.
And just a great coach. One of the greatest ever in the tri-state area.
He was intimidating just to look at him.
Big guy,
big old guy. And I did exactly what he told me to do.
Yeah. So you've scheduled this game with him and with Huntington East. I think he may have been Huntington High still then, because he coached with Claude for a while. he may have still been with them. But anyway,
I think he was with.
because he closed with Claude at Hampton High for several years. I can't remember the exact time frame, but at any rate, you're playing Hampton East, and it's a game in Putnam Stadium, and it's a tough one. You guys lose 14-6. Steve Hagerman again and Cooksey both had pretty good games, but you just couldn't quite get them. And we didn't know it at the time. You didn't know it at the time, but this team was in the midst of a slump, really. You had a lot of tough games ahead. It was going to be tough.
Exactly.
And you're looking down the barrel, down the chute there, and thinking, man, where are we going to get one?
Exactly. Exactly.
So the wishbone starts. Is it coming up in your head?
Oh yeah, it's been. Of course, it's been for about a year and a half or longer, and of course. I at some point during the season, can't tell you exactly because I'm not sure. I made my decision. I was going to put it in at the last game.
Yeah.
On a little bit of time to work on it. And,
so did you all practice? How much did you all practice it?
We practiced 2 weeks.
Just 2 weeks.
I had 3 running plays. Well, about 4 running plays. 2 to one side, 2 to the other side, and we had 2 passes.
Wow, interesting.
That's when we first put it in.
So, like I say, you're in the midst of a tough time here. You guys are 2-4, and Covenant Homes again, and you're going up there. They're good. Those Covenant teams are good, and they shut you out 28-0. Very good ball team, I'm sure. Tough place to play. You go to Northern Kentucky, man. Herb, your schedules were just brutal.
Yeah, we played good teams. We played top-notch teams all the time.
Yeah, and now you've lost 2 in a row, and here comes Russell again. And this is okay. We got to get Russell. We got to get that's big rival game. We can't lose to Russell.
Exactly.
We've already we've never lost to them. We're not going to start now. And Russell comes to Putnam, and I'll never forget this too. And they late pass, or they scored on a pass. I remember, and they win the game 6-0.
Yeah, now I can't remember who the kid was that caught that ball.
I can't think his name right now either.
I think he did student teaching over at Ashland.
Yeah, and he, what a win for Russell there, going bonkers.
They did the same thing that Boyd County did to us, and when Jake's first year, they run up and down that field, and the band went up and down the field. And
so how
the first time ever that they beat Ashland?
Yeah, first time. How is Ashland reacting to that?
Oh my goodness! Well, I come home after the game. Well, it wasn't. Dennis couldn't keep this from me. I pulled up, and when I looked, me and Bill Tom, I drove home with him because we stayed over there and talked. So I told her to go on home. It was about 2:00 in the morning. We pull up beside of my house. There's toilet paper in every tree. Hedge had a big hedge up and down. That garbage thrown all over the place. I mean, it was awful. Well, I was mad. I was mad at everybody at that time. I mean, that really upset me. And I said, nobody better say a word to me from now on. If they say anything, I'm going to get fired anyways, but I'm going to hit them. And I was. I made my mind up. I was going to jack them. And but I said, get back to football.
That had to be tough.
Oh, yeah.
And your family, you feel like your family's under attack.
Exactly.
When your house gets ransacked.
So my kids
like
are small. They look at that. Well, what's going on?
Yeah. Now, your boys were
grade school.
Yeah, they were on the sidelines though.
Oh yeah.
And tackling each other, and I probably really all 68, 69, and 70. They're all down there just smashing into each other. They're in uniform, and I know the people, the fans, really enjoyed that. Yeah. I think through the years, and watching those boys grow and become good young men. But they remember them as little boys on that Tomcat sideline, and having a good time down there. But it gets personal, doesn't it? And this is a game, and we're doing the best we can. Yeah. And you're ready to run me out of town. And this is my livelihood.
Exactly.
So you're fired up.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, as a sports writer, just like you, Mike Relford.
Yeah.
Mike Relford helped me. Let's see. I think it was the next year.
No, it was this year,
It was
and
this
we're going to
year?
get to that.
Okay.
Yeah,
It was this year. Okay.
it's coming up.
He wrote a big article.
Yeah.
I'll just wait.
It's coming up right away here. So, you got Fort Thomas off the schedule, so that's good.
Exactly.
So now you're going to Portsmouth, and again another just really tough place to play. And Herb, your offense has sputtered at this point. You guys had only scored one touchdown in 3 games, and when you start seeing that, that's some red alert, isn't it? It's like we got to maybe change something.
At this time, we're starting all sophomores.
Yeah.
I mean, every place.
It's kind of like we're playing for next year.
Yeah.
And in the future.
Yeah.
Because
I started that about 6-7 games ago.
Yeah. You played a lot of them all year, but I'd say you even said
we had.
We're done with the seniors. We appreciate you guys, but we're losing.
No, not all seniors. You can see that. Every senior was given.
Eddie Overton,
Eddie Overton
was a senior, and
very much so.
A great lineman, one of Ashland's greatest linemen. You lose to Portsmouth 34-13, and so the losing streak continues. And I know how Ashland is, and I know how mad they're getting, and but you still have some interesting games ahead. And the next one is Boyd County. Still haven't beat Boyd County first 2 years. Got to beat your rival. Canute has stepped in at quarterback, by the way, looks like. Even the game before. I think it looks like after the Russell game is when he became full-time quarterback. You saw something in him, leadership.
He had it all. But Steve was so skinny. I mean, I'm afraid
he could hit, though, couldn't he?
Oh, he could hit. He hit when he played at Kentucky.
Oh, yeah. Played Vanderbilt, yeah. When he played at Vandy. When he played Kentucky.
Yeah. And then the same play that what's the kid's name from Paducah, the good running back?
Sonny Collins.
He knocked Sonny Collins out of the game twice.
Broke his leg.
Broke his leg in one game, and then another game. He knocked him out of the game twice.
Yeah, Steve was a vicious hitter on defense, but a great leader, too, and a good quarterback. Good bloodlines with him too, I guess, right? Was he related to Ivan and
Duke? Yeah, Duke was his father.
Duke was his father, yeah. So Duke was a great player.
They said the only guy could handle Lou Michaels was Duke Canute.
Yeah, there you go. So good, good bloodlines there. So you're playing Boyd County, and hang on, tough game, and Tom gets you again, 13-6. He's beat you 3 years in a row now, and that's going to end, but. He beat you 3 years in a row at this point, and another really tough loss. I mean, and you score only one touchdown in that game. Another tip, you look back at those Boyd County scores: 12-6, 13-6, 14-8. That's the kind of games they were. A break here or there, a fumble here or there, and but boy, you guys badly needed a win at that point, didn't you?
Yeah, we sure did. And I'll tell you what, in that game, it's 13-6. I remember I think we had the ball. I think it was about 30 seconds to go in the game. We got it on about their 40-yard line. We run a screen pass bomb, what we called it. Jimmy Johnson was the fullback, and he's left-handed, and the ball was on our side. We're going north or south to one of the opposite side of the field, the stadiums, Boyd County's bleachers, which looked like all over the field. But we get call the play. We fake the screen, throw it out there to Jimmy. Jimmy catches the ball, and Jimmy can throw the ball good. He's left-handed. Willie Thomas was running the ball down the field. Running down the field, wide open. He throws it. It looks like a duck been shot down the air, and it was going out of bounds all the way. And Willie sat there and just like that and stopped and shake his some at it.
Because there was nobody near him.
Yeah. Well, nobody. All he had to do was catch it.
Yeah.
If his ball was thrown.
I think that was 74 because that's when Willie was in my class and Jimmy.
Was that 74?
Yeah, that was later.
Okay.
But
I thought it was that.
Yeah. They all get mixed up there, and plays like that, boy, they stick in your head, don't they?
Oh yeah.
And just that
I
can
thought about being this game.
That can determine a game.
Yeah.
I mean, Well, we'll get to those. Those were good games. So the next game, the next week, you're at Covenant Catholic, and man, you're probably regretting making those schedules up with Covenant Catholic. They beat you guys 27-6. Gardner, though, Richard Gardner has a great game in that one, rushed for 107 yards, and you're starting to see some things. Did you play any of the wishbone in that second or that next last week? You're just practicing it.
Just practicing.
Yeah, just kind of working through it and saying. So now we get to Mike Relaford. Everybody in town, not everybody, but a lot of people in town, they're down at the drugstore talking about Herb Conley, and we got to get rid of this guy. He's killing our program. Look at they're 2-7, their second losing season in a row. What are we going to do? Fire this guy. That's.
Oh yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah, they wanted you out.
I never heard it, but I heard about it.
Yeah, nobody's going to talk to you.
But I heard a lot about it. And but Mike Relaford was always into my side. And before that Ironton game, he writes a big article. I don't remember what all was said, but whatever did is stirred the people up in my team.
Yeah, I remember going back and reading the article, and he basically said, "This is a young team. This guy knows what he's doing. Leave him alone. He's going to win. He's going to get this done, but he can't get this done unless you all get behind him." It's basically what he was saying. He can't do it by himself. But you got the right guy. Get off his back.
Exactly.
And Michael's pretty blunt.
Yeah. He said what he meant.
Yeah. He stood by what he said. Yeah. And that column certainly helped save your job.
Oh yeah, no question about it. I believe it did.
Yeah. Plus, you go to Ironton. You're 2-7. Ironton, I don't know what the record is, but they're always pretty good. And I remember going over to this game too as a young boy and watching this game, and what a great football game that was. Yeah. And all of a sudden Ashland comes out and they line up for the first time, and it's a different look. It's a wishbone look, and Ironton's jumping all around and maybe called timeout. I can't remember. To say, okay, what do we do here?
Exactly.
So were the kids excited about they're going to get to run the wishbone and see what they can do with it?
Well, they were so surprised. I'm pretty sure they called timeout a couple of times there quick to try to see what we were doing. Yeah. And that I don't know if anybody Texas was the only team I knew was running it.
Yeah, and let's talk about Texas for a second. 1968, Darrell Royal puts in the wishbone. He wins 30 in a row. They dominate people. Yeah. Nobody can stop this offense.
Exactly.
So that's why you're looking at that and saying, why don't we do that?
That's right. I looked at it and I said, well, all we have to lose. Plus I had the little backs coming, quick backs, with speed, Pierre Harshaw, and later on Gary Thomas, and just different ones. I've had Greg Jackson. I had a lot of speed coming.
Right.
And we had some good linemen, not real big linemen, but they were solid. 6'2", 210, 215, and of course at 75 we had some big kids.
Yeah, you had the big ones then.
And so, but they were getting bigger as it goes. Steve Justice.
Yeah, you still had some big ones
Dave
on this
Johnson.
team. Yeah.
Richard
Mike
Wheeler.
Those guys were
Joe Mayer.
Big and strong.
And the ones that weren't quick were smart and tough, quick.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of pulling. Yeah. Texas did a lot of pulling. We did little traps.
A lot of double team blocks.
Double teams. And we could get that block on the corners. All of our backs could block good on the corners. Richard Gardner threw a block when he was playing at the halfback. I moved him from fullback and halfback all in and out. He made the prettiest block I ever saw in any football game, any level. We go out and we always taught our backs to get on the corner, whoever they're blocking, get on the outside shoulder, and if he makes contact, and just run upfield. Don't try to throw on him right now or nothing. Just run. As long as you have contact with him, keep running. Don't. He ran. That guy, they come out, he got on the outside pad. His helmet was right on Richard Gardner's shoulder pads, and Richard turned upfield. They were locked together for about 30 yards down the field. when he got down there about 30 yards, there's a couple of defensive players closing in on him. About that time, Richard throws, and he's blocking that one guy down his head for about 30-some yards and knocks the two other players down.
Wow.
See, I made I had a film of all our wishbone. First year I made a film of every play, and a bunch of coaches wanted it, and I'd send it to different ones and different ones and different ones, and somebody kept it. And I wish I had that thing. It could be a great
training film. Yeah, it's a great offense, and it is you have to have a good fullback, I think.
Yeah.
And you had several. You had Lanyon, you had Gardner, who were both.
All my backs could play. I had them all. They all had to play the same position. I mean,
they all had to know it both.
Yeah, they do everything. But you have to be able to block.
Yeah.
Block on the corners.
Right.
And then the fullback had to be powerful, run up inside, be able to run up inside.
Quarterback had to be wise,
smart.
Decisions.
Know when to hand the ball off or keep it. And he had to run the triple option. As he fakes that ball to the fullback, and it's down the line, he either pitches it to the halfback or keep it.
Very much a read offense.
Yeah, it's a read. Yeah.
They're pinching on the outside, so I'm giving it to the fullback.
Yeah. That's the reason everybody said, "Why does he run up the inside all the time?" We try to make everybody stop at fullback first.
Yeah.
That's my philosophy. They're going to have to stop him, or we're going to run that maybe sometimes 3 times in a row or 4. I don't care how long we're getting 5. I figure this 5 5s is 10 first down. And we had great success with it. And then we got going outside. We'd pick up big yardage, and then we'd counter.
Yeah.
And I remember Coach Kidd is at a clinic, and a bunch of coaches after come in to talk to him about his offense, and high school coaches. And he said, "You guys all get Herb here." Said he's got an offense. And I'd had it in a couple of years. And he said, "This is a guy. He got his offense. He attacks every part of the field. He don't leave a part of the field." And at that time we started throwing the ball a little more. Trying to throw outside wide, little short passes,
right? And
plus our passing game. He said he uses all the field. That's what you want to do if you got offense. Make everybody defend the whole field. And I said, and we played against some people would make you do that. It was hard to defense, if they're a good team. So that was my philosophy: is make people cover the entire field.
Do you think going into that Ironton game where the players putting that offense in, were they pretty excited about running that offense?
Oh yeah, I thought they were. Because they were ready to try, just like me. They were ready to try something else. And say, "We've had enough of this."
Yeah.
And I had too. But it wasn't the offense. It was the personnel. Mm-hmm. Personnel means should have you how you determine the offense or defense you want to run. Mm-hmm. And I was biggest thing. I was just afraid to do it because I was afraid everybody'd say that he ran Jake's offense because he won a state championship.
Right.
Well, I did.
Why not? I mean, when you're starting, especially.
And I was a young coach, and I thought, hey,
this is working. Why change it?
Yeah, But the first thing you had to say, we would have made it through the first game, which we did, but after that second ball game, that's when all the trouble started. It kept getting worse.
Oh yeah.
See.
Yeah, I mean you're setting it. Well, actually, you're setting it 2-1 after you beat Belfry, pretty bad. But then, 6 straight losses.
Yeah.
And 6 straight losses in Ashland is a...
Get you fired.
Yeah, in a hurry, won't it?
Yeah.
And I know you all used to do the films, you'd show the game on Mondays, the Tomcat Booster Club. And, it was probably getting to the point where you didn't have to worry about putting out too many seats because nobody wanted to come watch.
No, we had to get dwindling down. Matter of fact, I don't know if we had to show them at last...
Yeah.
Game.
Yeah.
What I did as a boosters club, and the last game when we beat Ironton, I said we're not taking it up.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to watch when we was.
We're not going to watch it.
They said we're not going to watch it. We'll all watch it.
So that Ironton game, 7-3. It wasn't like a high scoring game, but did the wishbone? Do you think? You were able to control the ball.
Oh yeah, we kept the ball.
Yeah.
It's an offense. If you're not as good as the other team and you can play defense, you can keep the ball away from them. It may take you a long time to score.
Yeah.
Or you may get down and fizzle out on a 10 or 15.
Yeah.
They got a long way to go back. So you don't have them scores getting beat to death, you know.
Right. They don't have the football.
They don't have football. We've got it.
And, you know, and beating Ironton, a good team, and you know, you had a lot of fans, I'm sure, that went to that game because they love to go over and watch at Tanks Stadium,
packed.
you know, and not a place you win at very often, to be honest.
Well, they were excited after the ball game. They had a lot of people coming up, you know, and they were very excited about the offense.
I bet a lot of them probably went over there with your obituary in their hand, you know, saying this will be it.
Yeah.
Ironton will kill him, and then he's out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but of course Mike quelled some of that with that column.
Yeah, he did.
That day.
He did because you know it didn't seem like they was coming over to you know
to root against you.
Yeah, to root against us.
Yeah,
and then they were, if I'm not mistaken, time you lose a lot.
Yeah.
But I thought they were pretty excited about the game and you know and vocal.
Yeah.
And so
and especially coming out in that new set. And did anybody know? Did you all kind of keep it to yourselves?
I told them not to tell anybody, but I don't know. You know how that goes.
Yeah. But I mean, they
Mom, Dad, we're sorry. I got
like the paper did. The preview didn't talk about Herb's using a new offense.
No,
I'm sure you told Mike, but you know.
Oh, Mike knew about it.
Yeah,
I told Mike.
Yeah, but they didn't talk about it in the paper.
No.
You know, we're running Ashland being a new look, because that element of surprise. You know, Ironton couldn't adjust quick enough.
No, we stopped ourselves a lot. You know, because we just put it in, and you run. It's a hard offense to run.
It is.
It's a lot of timing, execution,
and you didn't
ball handling.
You didn't have much time to get timing down, really. I mean,
no. Well, the thing too, and you got to get spacing. You know, and one time I'd look out there in the field, and the two backs we'd line them up over the guard. Well, one be over the tackle, one be over the guard, they'd be back, and they're supposed to line up right next to each other, back off. We had them 4 yards deep, the fullback 2 yards deep. And sometimes they'd be right up by the fullback, but they run the plays that we run. They could run them, but the alignment was really messed us up a lot of times.
I'll tell you something you did to solve that, and coaches today would do well to do this. You gave that offense to your JFL coaches. You gave that offense to your junior high coaches, and you learned the terminology. You learned, you know, what all this stuff meant. When they got to you didn't have to teach them
exactly. We always taught it, but we could work on really define it more.
Yeah.
You know, execute a little better.
They already knew what it was.
They knew what to do. Yeah, they knew what to do.
How to line up.
And it was a big help. Matter of fact, I'll tell you this little story. There's one of our junior league had one of the guys that ran it. I'm not going to say where he worked, but he was all the time back when things were going bad during that season, criticizing me big time. And some of the people around him heard about it. That's why I knew I had a few people, and they thought he was bad mouthing me. So I called him up, told him I want to see him. And he said, when? I said, after practice, about 6 o'clock, 6:30, after practice. He said, where? I said, in the lobby. And he comes, I see him coming into the lobby, and I go down, and he said, well, spit it out. Well, it made me mad when he said that. I said, I'm going to spit it out. And then I told him about him criticizing me and everything, and him being helping, supposed to be one of my big helpers in the Little League. I said, today's your last day. Don't you ever come around. I don't even think you need to come to the games. That's what I told him. I said, I better not hear another word from you, big mouth. I was mad. I was really mad.
Yeah.
And but then I let it go.
Yeah.
I let it go, and then he went on his way. Never saw him again.
Huh. Wow. Yeah, I mean, you know, in coaching, you're going to get your detractors. That's just part of it too.
Yeah.
You know.
And I was young. You know.
You're fired up. You're 29 years old. I mean,
I got a little spirit still in.
Yeah, you got some fight left. Yeah. So you finished this season, man. Even though it was 3-7, to finish it on that high note of we got a new offense, we got everybody back, we're primed.
Exactly.
We're ready. We forget 3-7. Who cares? We're starting fresh, and we're starting with some guys we know can play.
Exactly, and I tell you, our winter program was so good. Of course, I think all my kids every year
Showed up.
did that. They worked hard.
Yeah.
Worked hard in practice.
Yeah.
Didn't have very many. I'd say maybe the whole time, maybe 4 or 5 players, showed they didn't want to work.
Yeah.
And they never lasted,
Right.
They never lasted. But even though the kids, I think sometimes when they played, we were just outmanned.
Yeah.
They were better players. And
right. It is interesting looking at some of these names that were sophomores that I know, and as I flip these pages, they're going to be pretty big names here in the next two seasons. Which are both these next 2 seasons. We get to the good stuff now. From here on out, we don't have to talk about losing seasons.
What do we go, the 71 season?
We got 71 next.
And see, I've always said, Mark, the 71 team may be the best team of all. I'm not saying they're the best team, but they're having a shot at being the best team.
Right.
Because they had some great athletes. We had a chance to win it all because the teams that won it, I don't know who won it that year.
It was Bryan Station.
Was it Bryan Station?
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, we beat Bryan Station quite a few times.
Yeah, you always handled them for some reason.
Yeah,
you don't ever had a problem with
them. Yeah, but we had, and I coached the All-Star game with the guy that coached there. I forget what his name was, but we always did real well against Bryan Station. But I thought we would win the state championship. I had a good shot at winning it all.
Yeah.
We don't even think you got teams now today. They can go and don't win a game and go to playoffs.
Yeah.
We win 11 games, never lost a game in the state of Kentucky that year.
Yeah. And
we can't go to a game.
Yeah.
That's bothered me from.
That was a team that, like you said, maybe could have won it all. I mean, you can't say they wouldn't have. They never lost a team against a Kentucky opponent.
No, and I think we put people pretty good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm looking forward to that segment. That's going to be a good tease for our next episode. We go to 1971. And man, it's going to be fun from here on out, guys. So be sure to check in on these episodes. I'll notify you on Facebook or different areas. But you've been listening to Tomcat Tales. I'm Mark Maynard. I'm with Herb Conley today, and we're going to continue through Herb Conley's career through 1976. Then Herb, we're going to talk about your playing career, and I've got some other people lined up. I got John Koskinen is going to talk about his career, and we have. I'm going to get Rick Sang on here, and I'm going to get some other great names. Howard Humphreys is going to come on one day. So we got a lot of great episodes to tell, and we hope you enjoy this. Let me know if you are enjoying it. Send me a note or whatever. But we're going to keep going. Herb, thanks again. It's a great look back on 1970. Tomcats had a tough year, 3-7, but. The sun's coming up.
Well, it's just like when I was coaching. I'm ready to go.
Okay. All right. Join us again. We'll on Tomcat Tales. Thanks.